Alright, with this tutorial what I want to do is show you how to make this little detail in the form here. Basically this is that lower piece that's there, and the way this is set up is that notice it's a little recess there, so that if I rapid prototype this and try to put these pieces together, it would actually have a nice little area for this to fit into. Let me show it a different way by turning off this and just selecting, sorry, done it that way, the body lower, and let's move this down a little bit to be able to show you. Let's go to simply free move and back out. So this piece, okay, and the base, get rid of that out of there. There we go. See how it's got that nice recess area for this to fit into? So we're going to walk through the steps. This involves basically duplicating some geometry and just kind of setting things upright and using split at key points, using the shell at key points, and then also combining things back together. Because one of the other things that I do want to have out of this is, if you notice down here at the very end, is this thicker area, because that's where this little class goes through. So I want to make sure that that's thick and not a shelled out part, because that just causes more headache with doing this. So this is the file I'm going to start with. If you want to follow along underneath assignment 3, this is the Flashlight Concept 2 Split Start. Okay, so that's the file I'm using there. Alright, so first thing we need to do is go in and make a copy of this. So I'll right mouse click on this. Now, there is the Move Copy tool. If you use that and you say you want to create a copy, unless you move this, this does not do anything. So, you know, even if I try to put in another 0 or something like that, that doesn't become okay in essence. And now if I move it some distance, it does, but I don't want to do that. So here's the right way to do this. Right mouse click over here and say you want to make a copy of it. Alright, go back up, right mouse click on the bodies folder, then you can paste in that copy. Voila, there's the same thing, but this allows you to hit OK. So go figure. So this is the copy now that we'll work off of. So I'll turn this one off. Alright, so what I need to do first is now split this, and underneath my sketches there is the split line sketch. I'll turn that on, and underneath modify I will use the split body tool. So with this you pick the body, and then you pick the splitting tool, which is that curve on that sketch. Hit OK. So now I got the split piece on there. So that's the top one. I'm going to go in here and designate this as not used. Okay, we're not going to use this anymore actually. How about not use, not noi use. Alright, turn that off. Now there's the split lower piece. Alright, so let's call this lower. Now, before I actually I'm going to shell this out now, but I'm going to make a copy of this again. Alright, so make a copy, paste it in. Alright, hit OK to this. Now what I'm going to do, so split lower, thicker, I'll call this one. Okay. Alright, let's turn that one off. So now I got this one. This is going to be my actual piece that I'm going to make. I'm now going to shell this. Okay, give it a thickness of 1 millimeter. Good, that worked. Hit OK. That's done. Alright, and that's actually going to be left alone until we get finished. Now I'll go to this thicker piece, and what I'm going to do is actually shell this again, but this time do 1.2, a little bit thicker. Okay, that'll give me that kind of a little bit of a, let's see if it's here or there, yeah, a little bit of that gap there. So if there is a little bit of mismatch, or if you glue it or something like that, you got a little spacing to do that. Alright, so that's why I got these two different sizes. Now I'm going to bring back the start original piece. Okay, and what I'm going to do is use the combine tool now. The target is this first one, the tool body is that lower one, and we're actually going to cut. Okay, so this thicker piece is going to cut out a little bit more in there. Hit OK. Let me bring back the lower piece now just to show you real quickly. there's my lower piece, there's the gap that I wanted between it to take it up. So that's why I do these two different sizes. Now around the edges and stuff may be a little problematic, and you may have to sand it just a touch to get these things to match up. Okay, so that's the lower piece. So let me turn that like that. Now for the next step, I want to put that little detail in before I shell this, or just want to split it. Let's put it that way. So let me get rid of the analysis. Now I'll go to this sketch and turn it on. So once again, I will do the split body. Okay, right there. This is the body, this is the tool. Hit OK. Now I got a separate little piece there. Great. Now let's do, and make sure that's back on again, and extrude. We'll pick that little piece, and this will actually be the cut. So this will be the detail that adds the cut in there. I do need to make this two-sided, so I can pull it out on either side like that. It goes all the way through. Hit OK, and there's my hole cut out. I'm going to now go in and do fillet. Click on that edge, click on this edge, and push it out. Let me turn the sketch off so we can see this a little better. So I can give it a little soft fillet like that. If you start enlarging, it gets kind of wacky, or like that. It doesn't look great. Although if you do this, I think it's kind of a neat little detail. Let's say if you want something that just pops in there, you can easily make something like that out of it by enlarging the fillets that large. But I'll keep it kind of reasonable, make it a nice oval shape along those lines. Okay, so that's that detail. Now what I'll do before I attach this back, I need to shell this out. So I'll go in here, shell, click on that. Let's try 1mm, and ends up, because of that flat end down there, let me show you with my analysis here section. Because this is flat and didn't encompass all those little small kind of radiuses in here, the 1mm works great. Works, perfect for this to shell it out. Okay, and if I wanted to, I could round off some fillets and do some things like that, but don't really need to. Now I don't want to produce something with an extra little piece, and because Rapid Prototype doesn't really care if you have a thin and then a thick like this together, I'm going to join them back together. So once again, there's my target, there's my tool, but I'm not going to cut, I'm going to join. And now I'm back to where I needed to be. Okay, so let's see. Now, the question is where did that come up, that thickness and all? Well, let me try to show this real quickly before we finish up. If I turn this on, all these components, there's a little detail missing, like this bracket right there and the spring. I should move these up. So if these were moved up in the right location, all right, I got two components. We're going to translate. How about free move? There we go. And I pull these up. What you'll discover is if those are sitting in the right location like that, that's a natural kind of back end wall there where this would push up against. And so that's why that distance came out of that. Okay. So that's that basic detail. Let me add in the lower body now. This one. So there's the thickness piece that I could assign a different material to, and Rapid Prototype that. And then finally, one last detail I'll try to throw in here and see how this works, is the rib. Okay, so I need to draw a sketch. Let me do that. So I'm going to create a sketch, pick 100C, there we go, that reference. Capture positions. Okay, good. And what I can do with this, let's see if I get this to work. So I will actually turn off grid snapping. Just come into this point somewhere. Actually, I'll go out here, go up there, and this always doesn't quite work the first time after you switch the grid off. There we go. I'll just go like right there, and go down there. Okay, it just has to extend back into this. Let me turn this off. I think running in, so let me go to selection tool, grab this and see. Now it's got that coincident. I actually snap it on. Now I can pull it off. There we go. hard to see, but I'm trying to get it right below and it's snapping on every little detail. Alright, that's good enough for this quick demo here. Stop the sketch. Alright, go in and use the rib tool. Modify, oops, under create, actually create rib. Okay, so you pick that detail. This is the thickness, so if I make it, say 2 millimeters, just so it shows up. The problem is it doesn't quite know which way to go in this case, and it's telling us that you switch the direction, although there's nothing you can find to kind of switch it. So if I go to this depth and simply grab this and pull it down, there it starts creating the rib, and I can just pull it all the way down to where it fills up that. So that's a quick way to make that rib in there. Okay, and if I switch my sections, oops, sorry. Oh, okay, this one only had one on it, so we'll stick with this right now. But, you know, that is actually double thickness. So actually, just turn this off to show you real quickly. Turn off that. There it is. Okay, so that's how you add those details in on doing the ribs and so forth with it, and also to go through this whole step of making that little lower piece that fits into a nice little recess that when you wrap a prototype, things will go together nicely.